Now this video will be about some of our successes and failures with rock tumbling. These are a couple I consider successes. This is green adventuring. As you can see, it comes in different colors. Can even have some different colorations in it. Adventuring does show its fractures. It also has a high mica content. That's this this sparkly look to it. Some have a lot more than others. Some's pretty bare of it. Adventuring was a pretty easy tumble overall. You tumble it pretty much just like any other rock that's in the mole's hardness of 7. Pretty easy overall. Okay, here's a couple other successful tumbles for us. This is carnelian. Carnelian comes in lots of variations. Some of it's nice and clear, shows a lot of figure inside of it. Ranges in color, obviously orange. Some of it's darker. You're going to have a lot of areas in it that are really deep here. You're never going to polish that out unless you want to turn it into a polished marble. And I prefer a rock to still look like a rock even when it's polished. That was another easy tumble. Tumble just like any other rock in a mole's hardness of 7. This is fire quartz. Fire quartz gets its name from this coloration here. Some of it though can be perfectly clear. No color hardly to it at all. Some of it you can see through. Now this is a mole's hardness of 7, but it wasn't as easy to tumble as most rocks of that hardness. As you can see, there's 3 of them that failed to come out. Now this stuff required tumbling with cerium oxide for a polish instead of aluminum oxide for the polish, and that's where I found the secret to it. It does not like aluminum oxide, doesn't polish up well with it. So if you do try some, get yourself some cerium oxide first, and you might have a few that don't come out right. Now we'll move on to a couple softer rocks here. This is calcite. Calcite is a softer rock, harder to tumble. You got blue, you got yellow, and you have orange calcite here. Now the orange does have mica in it, so it does look a little different. It actually takes a polish the easiest of the 3. Now when it comes to calcite, calcite is so soft of a stone that actually requires dry polishing. That was done in a vibratory tumbler with aluminum oxide and corncob. Show a picture of this. Here's our dry tumbling media in here. Takes about 7 days. You must do it in small batches. That way the rocks don't beat each other up much. Calcite does show its fractures really easily, so it's not going to come out as a perfect stone by any means. But pretty stones, lots of nice color to it. Now this is sodalite. It comes, we've got this stuff from the rock shop. Now I got it set out in 3 different grades here. It's all out of the same batch. Sodalite now is a difficult stone to tumble. Your dark blue here is a mole's hardness of 5.5, and your white area is a mole's hardness of 3. So it tends to degrade a lot when you're tumbling it, so you'll get dips in it. It does tend to show its fractures, just like calcite does. It is a softer stone anyway. Now these ones here I considered the lower grade because they did tend to show their fractures a lot more. This stuff here came out a little better, didn't show its fractures quite as much. And then at the top of the line you have this here, which is called sunset sodalite. It has another material in it. You might get 1 or 2 of those rocks out of a complete 5-pound batch, so you don't see that quite as often. Sodalite is a more difficult tumble. It started, like all of our rocks, it was started with a rotary tumbler in our course. Then we moved to 120, 500, and 1000 in a vibe tumbler. And for your polish, you have to use cerium oxide. It does not polish with aluminum oxide. Now we'll move on to some failures. This is fluorite, and yes, it does have a polish to it, but it's way smaller than it started out. This stuff has gone through probably 3 tumbles. Fluorite's really soft, so it disappears in a hurry. Has to be dry tumbled with corncob media. And I experimented with it, tried cerium oxide on it, and it got quite a bit smaller in the doing, and ended up going back to the corncob media, and that's the size our rocks ended up out. So a definite failure for us as far as that one's concerned. This is blue quartz. Now this is both a success and a failure. These rocks here and most of the rest of the batch did not take a decent polish. Now that was with aluminum oxide. The ones back here at the back, they for some odd reason took a decent polish. Not sure exactly why, but I was more happy with the way they came out than the rest of the batch. So again, it's a failure for us. It is sitting and waiting for us to figure this one out. Now this is fire quartz, or excuse me, fire obsidian. Fireworks obsidian, and it definitely a total failure for us. Out of all the rocks that we tumbled, 5 pounds worth, I got 1 rock and a couple small chips that took a good polish. Looked really nice too because of it. And the rest of them in the same stuff did not take a polish. As they were tumbling in the polish, they got rougher instead of smoother. So definite failure there for us. Not sure what's going on with it. We'll have to figure that